And I've seen you mention some like really big numbers on Twitter. Like, what's the biggest revenue month that you've
It was,
had so far?
it was December 2022, and that was, I think, 81.
Whoo! I just got done having a really great conversation with Jamie IF. We talked about his dozen websites, the fact that he's had the biggest month of close to $81,000 in revenue. And we also talk about an exciting new project that he's got that's starting very soon. Enjoy. All right, sweet. Jamie, we are live, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So it's Jamie IF. So my first question I got to know, man, on Twitter. So what does IF stand for?
So when I graduated from uni like three and a half years ago now, I tried to start a social project to help feed people that were like living great or homeless, and that had the initials IF. I ran out of money trying to do it. I was like, all right, I got to make it somewhere. So I got into SEO and that, but it's like a forced accountability thing, right? I'm not just going to try and get rich and live like lavishly and forget about the original project. If I don't do it, then literally it's on my name and everyone can hold that against me. It's like it's a point of accountability.
I love it, man. I had no idea. I was wondering because I've been connected or following you on Twitter for a while, and I'm like, IF, what is that? I'm like, when we connect live and record something, I was like, I'll ask you straight away. So, and then right before we recorded, I was telling you it's kind of funny that there seems to be lots of involvement in the UK. So like my goal this year is to make at least 25 new connections of people that are building in the online space and building websites. And I want to record these conversations. And for right now, it's tied 2-2 of the conversations I've recorded. It's America 2, UK 2. So I think it's pretty interesting how that works.
Yeah, I'm going to back the Brits here to take over. I'll make sure that it's always the Brits that reply to all the invites and get on there. And
yeah,
like in America, like they pack the Supreme Court with their side. I'm gonna pack it full of Brits in the connections.
Exactly. Yeah, man, you got to connect me to more Brits, and we'll keep it going, man. It'll be great. So okay, so I just noticed on like literally today, I saw on your Twitter feed it says retired SEO.
Yeah, it's
complete fun or what is this?
Yeah, so I haven't sold up. There's no exit, but I'm still doing the niche sites and that. I'm still going for it. So about 3 months ago now, I was having a real big technical problem when I pushed my main site, like a new complete like design change, right? And one of the people who volunteered like completely for free to help like diagnose the problem, because I'm not that good on the technical side of SEO, to be honest, was Andrew, who runs Lasso, and he was super helpful. I'm super grateful for him for that. And we just got talking after that, and a few weeks later he messaged me like, oh, just out of interest, would you be interested in joining and heading up marketing at Lasso? And so we got talking. At the beginning, I thought it was just like the displays, which are beautiful, but it's just, if it was just the displays, I would have gone, thank you, happy to be a customer, but not right now. But we got talking, and there's so much cool stuff and coming and in the midst of being rolled out, and it seemed like a super cool project to be part of. And so the retired SEO part is a bit of tongue in cheek for I'm now to help him with the marketing side of Lasso, rather than just being like a niche site SEO.
That is nuts, man. Is that public knowledge? Have you already talked about that yet, or not really?
It will be tomorrow. I presume that doesn't destroy
it. Yeah, we're recording this now. It'll be a few weeks before we post this. Congrats, man. That's awesome. That sounds really cool.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So what does that mean for your projects? Are you operating the same, or how's that going to change what you're doing with, I guess, like niche sites?
Sure. So, I mean, generally, I think in 2023, if you're running 12 sites and think that you can do that still like it's 2017, 18, I think that that's not the way to make the most money. And so even if I wasn't now spending more time on Lasso, I would be slimming down anyway, but it's further encouragement to just slim down to the main projects, get good systems. I need to get more effective, and I need to use my time better and build better systems. But I've been working to do that over the last few months to the level where I feel more comfortable only having a couple of days a week to work on the sites, because we now got writers that know how to write to the SOPs, like a VA who can help format the stuff in WordPress and knows how to do the affiliate links and different like nuanced parts of the formatting process. I've trained someone who can do the briefing. All the keyword research is done for all the sites for the entirety of 2023 up front. And so I've tried to just make it as like backdated as possible and doing it all up front so that it makes it easier to manage now with having less time.
Interesting, man. So you just answered so much for me that I kind of wanted to just chat with you on. So 12 sites. So you have 12 like projects?
Yeah, but only 6 actually make any like meaningful money.
Yeah. Or 6 like making money at all? Do you have more than that monetized? But because I have a handful of sites too, but I have 2 that are monetized, like for my portfolio or whatever.
We have 5 that made more than $1,000 a month last month.
That's no joke, man. That's like awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, and then a
Yeah.
few that made a couple hundred here, 70, 50, 200, like stuff.
Yeah.
It's still great to have as a side hustle, but like they're not being actively worked on, and I'll move to get rid of them.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So you'll sell off some of those projects.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How old are you? I feel like you're in your 20s. I feel like I heard you say it before somewhere.
Yeah, I've just turned 26, but I think in real life people think I'm like 21 or something. So I just don't look like that old. I don't grow a beard or anything, so it just looks like.
You got the baby face, man. So you just turned 26. How long have you been doing this? How did you get into this? Because no one's studying this at school, right?
They should be teaching how.
Totally agree with you.
But no, I did not learn in school, unfortunately. I did a 4-year uni course. Like usually it's 3 years, but like for your third or the fourth year, I presume it's the same in the US, but you can do a year in industry. And so I went and worked in Paris for 6 months for this publisher that did stuff. Sort of discovered what SEO was there because they were trying to use it, but weren't really using it effectively. They were also just like a really highbrow, like French aristocracy like founder who like saw anything like display ads or affiliate links as like pretty lowbrow. Like he felt they cheapened their brand's offering, which is a dumb idea because obviously it doesn't actually is like how you make money. So he wanted to do like direct ad deals, and so I was curious about how you could then use the SEO that I was learning there with some of these other tactics that I had no idea if they made any money or not because I didn't really get to try them out or like really notice them. I didn't have reason to. So then I practiced it start aside when I graduated, and I took it seriously when I graduated in mid 2019. I made what is, I mean, it's probably not job replacement income in the US, but it is in the UK. We've got lower salaries over here. In March 2020, the month COVID hit, then it went way back down because the Amazon rates got cut that same month when I was first made job replacement income, got to it again, and then that's the journey and how I learned and practiced. I've not had a job in SEO. I've mostly, I guess, just learned through repetition and writing.
So that company in Paris where you were working, was someone teaching you some of these skills, or were you just able to go out and learn on their dime, find knowledge, and kind of try to put some of it into practice at the company? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, so we were writing news and stuff, and then
Yeah.
we learned what SEO was really on the job. And so I was
Yeah.
teaching myself to learn like how to rank this article on whatever it was. So I wasn't really being taught, but then I guess I just found it interesting. I pushed myself. Like, I don't think they would have cared if like nothing to do with SEO was going out in that particular company at that particular time. But I guess I liked the idea of getting free traffic and it only costed my time. I was broke then, so I had time and no money. So it's like, oh, all I have to do is write loads and I get traffic. This is a great deal. I tried to launch a streetwear company when I was like 17 and it failed. And we had a bunch of Instagram followers, like 16K within a few months, but nothing sold because it just didn't translate. And you had to keep it up. The social media stuff was kind of like expensive. And so I was like, oh, I like the idea of this doing it for free. So it just matched all of like the failures that I'd had and like the idea of rectifying that. So I think I was like super motivated for a free, ongoing rather than one-off social media post type of thing. And I've loved it since then.
That's cool. Okay. And then the trajectory to get to this many sites, and I know it's about to change, but like up to now where you are, what did that look like? Did you launch one and then another and then just keep stacking on? Or like, what was that flow like for you over the last number of years?
So I had just the one site until the end of 2020. Then I registered another domain name for an offshoot in like December 2020. But very quickly got the shiny objective syndrome and went from 2 to 6 and whatever really quickly. None of them really took off. And then towards the end of 2021, made the first like acquisition of like a decent, like it was $28,000, which to me and still now is like a lot of money. And so that we still run that one. That's one of the ones that makes more than $1,000 a month now. And then a couple small acquisitions that didn't really pan out. And then the bloating that comes with that. So yeah, it was mostly just an offshoot for one that's still the most successful that sort of funded all the others to break even point. And the others only recently have sort of now grown into their own and now pay more than what we invested in them. Like our second biggest site now did $34,000 in November, and so it came into its own and like started making like enough money that it could then like invest and offset the cost of like another set of sites or whatever. But obviously we don't want to do that now.
Exactly. But that's crazy to hear, though, man, that we're talking like a 3-year time period of really launching up quick, basically. I mean, this isn't like a 10-year project for you. This is like less than 5 years of work to get to where you are.
Yeah, and the second site that we registered in 2020, at the end, like the 24th month of its existence was the month it did 34 grand in a month. So it was like a 2-year maturing to get to that point.
And I've seen you mention some like really big numbers on Twitter. Like, what's the biggest revenue month that you've had so far?
It was December 2022, so a couple months ago, and that was I think
81K. I mean, that's nuts, man. If you were to rewind back 3 years, like, did you have that vision of, yeah, of course, in 3 years I'll have like an 81K month, or did you not have an idea that it could get there? I'm just kind of curious, like, where your mindset was 3 years ago.
No, like I said, I still don't feel like it exists until it's like we're still getting paid some of it because, like, for example, on Amazon, it's like a 60-day time before you actually get paid. So it's only I'm only beginning to feel like it's a lot now. But no, like even when I found one of those end of year, like, write your feelings down as you go into the new year, like books that I'd written in like 2020, and it was like I was clearly not feeling confident in the site then. I literally only reread this recently, and it says just get the site sold so that you can focus on that IF project. See if you can get 5 grand for it, whatever, just get it rid. And it was like, imagine I had done that now instead of stuck with it.
Oh man, yeah, exactly. What's the breakdown of that revenue? Like, what are you guys targeting? Are you targeting affiliate marketing, programmatic ads, sponsorships? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's about 68% ads. Sorry, affiliates. 5% sponsorships directly, and then the rest, which is like 20-something%, is ads.
It's funny when you start a sentence with "it's about 68%." I'm like, I don't know, man. It sounds like your numbers.
It might be like 70, it might be 65. Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, I got you. Now, is that across the board for all your projects? Is that kind of the breakdown? Are different sites or like different ranges, or does it end up being somewhere in that ballpark for?
In fact, actually, let me just correct myself because we do some digital products as well. And one smaller site that we bought recently,
cool,
that had an Etsy store and its own like e-commerce thing, does like 85% off like email and like the e-com stuff for the digital products. And so it is offsetting. The sites are all different, but from the niche sites, sort of like the typical like blog content, it will fall into about 2/3 affiliates, 1/3 ads.
Got you. I got you. And something I was wondering, so would you look to expand that to create a brand like into products, like whether it's your own digital product or like own physical product or whatever? You see that being a potential for any of those brands?
I think it's necessary. I think that like influencers are going to get rich and brandless niche site people are going to evaporate over time. Like it's just inevitable with AI, it's going to happen. And so if you want to be one of the big winners or at least survive, you've got to build like products. You've got to be on camera as the face of your brand, as the face that people buy from people, right? So you got to do that. At the same time, though, like there is still more meat on the bone for just like faceless affiliate marketing blog posts. There's still a lot left, and some of the tools coming out. I'm not trying to promote Lasso here necessarily, but there's a lot.
Go for it.
Completely like break down your revenue with some of the stuff that's coming out. We'll show you, for example, the exact revenue that each page drives, so that you can quickly improve stuff that's working, fix stuff that isn't working. It will give you like the earnings per click for different affiliate programs or pages in one go, that like even then you could just give to a VA that earns markedly less than you and is on like less valuable time than you, and get them, because it would be so simple that you could then like basically what I'm trying to say is the value of a page view is going to skyrocket over the next few years with the AI powered tools that are coming out. So even though you're getting your traffic taken, there's still I predict that with less traffic, RPMs will go up for ads as well. And so if you can take advantage of that and survive with the value of page view going up and being an influencer, it'll be okay. I think I've gone off topic there, but that's the plan to expand it basically.
Yeah, not off topic at all, man, because that's something I'd want us to brainstorm on, would be like AI and what your thoughts are. Obviously, you can't have a chat without bringing that up, right? Without talking about what's going on, the status of the industry and all that. And no, I think you just brought in some really deep thought there with that, saying that, yeah, obviously it's disrupting traditional niche sites or whatever. But your thoughts, I guess, to like recap that back to you, like your thoughts are like, yeah, page views may go down, but RPMs possibly will go up. And you're saying using AI tools to empower our media brands or our content sites as well.
AI will destroy the previous barriers to creating new SaaS tools that take advantage of data. So a lot of new generation stuff will exist that doesn't exist, that we can't even think of now. that will allow you to make more money.
Yeah.
Tools that don't use like AI, that just use data, like Lasso's performance dashboard that gives you all the revenue, is an instant thing again that will then increase your value per page view, because you can then go and optimize things based on data that you didn't previously have. And so, yeah, there's going to be, at the same time, if traffic does go down, brands will still want to reach people, and so they just have to pay more for it. So RPMs will increase because there'll be more demand over the same or reducing number of page views as Google answers more queries itself within their own doorway page. And influencers who now take up a bigger share of like people's eyeballs, because people won't be on pages as much, will become more and more valuable. So those will all go up in the age of AI. As for AI taking stuff, like, yeah, it will, especially if it's basic and undifferentiated. The more like nuanced and like requires more context, I think you'll be fine. More commercial stuff will survive better than informational. But for us, we're still using some AI in our tool sets now. Like we use AI to try and come up with just like standard ChatGPT stuff. We're using it to write pros and cons for stuff, like feeding in the actual product description and being like, write pros and cons based on this description. We're using it to, if you write me 5 unconventional FAQs a person might have in buying this, it will give you really creative responses, because the word unconventional trains it to be like different, and like most of them are rubbish, right? But the other ones will be like, that's a really interesting, like coming from a different angle sort of thing. You can also get it to create tables out of the data you've already done, so you can add that into the buying guides to like compare everything over one specific aspect. And so as a data collection tool for improving blog posts, it can really augment that already. And some people are using it to do entire briefs. I don't trust it, is that it requires like a good eye and understanding of like the competition to know how to like the exact search intent and how you're going to position yourself. But it can do a lot of things already that's like service level to a good standard and save a lot of time.
I agree with you. Yeah, our team's definitely using it as well, just to be, I would just say though, to be more creative, right? Just allow you to be more creative and just maybe kind of like what you said, like, so unconventional FAQs, right? Just to come up with, generate unique and creative ideas that maybe you wouldn't have on your own, or with doing whatever research that you would do on your own. What does your current team look like? Like, how are you set up to run all those sites? And like, I'm just curious how your operation runs.
Sure. So we have 2 virtual assistants that help, like that one's head of quality control that manages the other VA, and then that's like formatting, sourcing images, resizing, adding, in some cases, entire links, adding affiliate links, generally understanding the niche enough to be able to put together the images that are like really relevant and add value in the right places, because some things better suit visual like accompaniments than others. We have 6 freelance, but yeah, in-house, like they're freelance, but they're within the Slack group and they write for us like as much as they want to and stuff. For the main sites, we have one person who works 4 days a week on one of my sites as like a site operator. Like you get like a standard getting paid by the hour deal, but also if revenue is above a certain percent, he gets 25% cut of that. And he runs one of our newer sites, the one that does all the 90% of the revenue from digital products. He's like taking charge as a site operator for that. But that's a pure like equity deal to earn up to 50%. There's like a motivator to like, that's his business and his project to run and crush.
I'm assuming you doing the equity type stuff is probably something that's come on later in the game, or did you have anything like that early on?
No, I wasn't in a position to have any people in the team until like it made enough money to offset that.
Yeah.
It's also, if someone's come on, they're not a good SEO, and I train them up, and then they get to the level where they're good enough that you could probably go and make more as a salary somewhere else. Then all right, we'll work out a deal where if you're super motivated and you want to crush it and you want to build something for yourself, then we'll do a deal where if you help make me money, I help you make you more money. And I think that's a good way to align the motivations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just puts skin in the game for people too, right? Both people have to have skin in the game, and then part of the upside. Those are definitely creative deals that I think it's smart for site operators to look at, and it's definitely something that I will be looking at for myself in the future as well. I mean, like 100%. What's a tool or some tools that you feel like you couldn't live without in y'all's operation and what y'all do? Is there anything that you're just like, oh my gosh, man, like we have to have this?
We'd struggle without Ahrefs, but I know that's such a cliche answer, but it's just
fair enough. Yeah, it's a good tool because it's a great tool, right?
Yeah, love Ahrefs. We use Slack every day. Loom is a key tool because it's just asynchronous communication, like way easier to build SOPs and stuff than like a document that's written and takes ages and is boring. There's probably a few others, but I'll say those.
Yeah, so Slack is how y'all's team communicates. You use Slack for that. Yeah, Loom or video. Yeah, video in general for SOPs is so, whether it's Loom or something else that people use. Oh my gosh, yeah. infinitely better. And it's just easier to change something too, right? Just if the whole process changes and your SOPs on like a document, oh my gosh, what a nightmare, right? To go through that and try to change out things that have changed or is different or whatever. How do you find the industry? So you're like 3 years into this and you've grown something really big. My biggest revenue month is only like 12 grand. I'm about 3 years as well into being serious. I'm a very nonchalant, easygoing kind of guy. So I'm curious, how do you find let's call it the industry or like people we're all, I guess we're competitors, like people are competitors, but they're not. Do you find people to be more helpful or do you think it's cutthroat competition out there?
I would not have been as fortunate financially this year had I not been helped and given advice by so many people on Twitter and stuff like that. And so coming onto Twitter in June or whenever I made the account has been one of the most valuable things I could have done. And so maybe people are like in the background, like gritting their teeth and trying to compete, whatever, but I haven't felt that. I've felt support and everyone's, I think, been happy for me, or at least has pretended to be. And me the same, like I would rather make $500,000 a month and everyone else in the game makes $1 million a month than make 20K a month and everyone else makes 10. Other people, I don't feel like it's a competition. Everyone can uplift and elevate each other, and everyone has like unique experiences to share and learn from and stuff like that. And so I've never understood the competitor's mindset. Like the most competitive and like advantageous thing you can do for yourself is to exchange skills so you can all win. It reminds me of England and France in the 1500s, where like GDP growth was like 0.1% a year. So like the only way to get rich was to go invade each other. And so Henry V would go invade France or whatever. It's not the case anymore. There's everything is growing and there's enough wealth now that the benefit is collaborating. You don't this person doing well isn't such a small game that where there's like one sub that like means that I go down a place. Everyone wins by sharing ideas and stuff. And so I've never felt it to be cutthroat or whatever. Maybe people are angry at success, but I haven't felt that.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting answer. And I guess there are probably a lot of whatever creators in the shadows that never say anything and that are out there trying to take you down or figure out what your content is and I don't know, be disruptive. I guess that's fine. It is what it is. Like, that's kind of like business in general anyway, right? Everyone's trying to grow a business and have a piece of the pie. But I think the pie is pretty I feel like the pie is pretty ginormous. I feel like it's pretty big, man. And I don't know if that's just my perspective or my point of view on life and how I look at that. I think some people are scared that the pie is not big enough, but I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, man. I'm like, all this new stuff that comes out, all these new words invented and new things and tools. I like you're not just talking evergreen, right? You're talking like brand new cutting edge news and tools and things. And I mean, obviously depending on what someone's content or their media brand is about, I'm just like, man, there's a lot of like forever content that just keeps coming and someone's got to talk about it. Right? Like someone has to create content for it, whether it's a website or a video or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of the angle I take, man. So no, it's good to hear you have a positive. And I feel like Twitter's kind of for me, is probably my favorite, I'm just going to call it tool or information source of probably the last 12 months. I've had a Twitter account forever. I've never done anything with it, but man, the amount of information that I think is really quality on there personally, I think it's incredible. I think it's a great spot for people to go and hang out and chat on like SEO and all this stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I've learned so much from like people publishing the experiments they've done or anything they've picked up. Like I could have to do like from scratch my research on what's changed every time a product review update happens. But then I've got people speculating with evidence-based stuff that like links are now a bigger factor or e-commerce things have gained more traction. So even if I'm still going to check and see what's up, but it informs and saves me time and allows me to form better views and strategies instantly because I can learn from other people and other people's mistakes rather than having to make them myself. And so it's been super valuable.
100, man. 100. If on a note, if people did want to like just to connect with you or whatever, is Twitter probably the best spot for people to find you?
Yeah, I'm Jamie_IF on Twitter. And I also have a newsletter that you can get to on increasing.com.
Very cool. Yeah, on increasing. Gotcha. And you have that linked up from your Twitter profile probably anyway, I think. Yeah. So yeah, cool. If you were to rewind back 3 years when you were getting serious and getting started, would you do things differently? Would you build differently? Or do you think you would follow the exact same path that you have?
I would have not expanded into so many sites because like with the way it's going now with requiring a big brand, but there being so much potential spoils of war if you can be the big brand in the space. Any more effort I could have done in getting there, doing more with like the main sites to have the best shot at it, I would have done. I think about it like 6 months ago, But I'm just going to spend a few days writing these buyer's guides for like this tiny site that has no DR and less chance of ranking, whatever. And it's like, if I'd spent that same time on 3 articles on the main site, that each could have made $200 a month. It's like, that's just such a bad choice. And I wasn't being selfish enough and prioritizing my time, right? And so doing more can mean that you actually get less results. And I would slim down, focus more, been more focused on 1 or 2 or 3 rather than half a dozen different projects.
Would you have known which projects those were to focus on without having all the projects? Or do you think you had to have all the projects in order to look back and say, man, I should have only focused on those few?
The first site I started is the biggest. The second site I started is the second biggest, and whatever else. It sort of feels like if I just focused on the main ones, I think I'd be richer now.
Interesting. That's good advice, man. It's so hard for people it's definitely hard for people not to create other brands, for sure. I also, on a personal level, I also see the benefit of diversifying as well. I've seen that in my own couple of brands. I'm like, oh, wow. When I've had a big change to site 1, site 2, that I have just surpassed the first site, I'm like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. And so I feel like I can see if there's an argument, if you will, I could see people's arguments on both sides. Hey, focus on one brand and grow it greatly, or just hey, focus on brands, but maybe not half a dozen or whatever, unless you have a giant team or something.
Yeah, the little things can make a lot of difference over time. Where it's just like the better about us page, like really nice looking team page that it's difficult to do 6 times, or like just better internal linking that has you just that bit more solid across the board, higher editorial standards, and stuff. Like it really shows. And I can see in my projects, like if you saw some of my smaller sites, you think that I was trash at SEO, and it's fair, but it's just if you divide your attention enough, just the standards drop and it's just not solid.
I agree with you so much. Like when you launch a new site, I feel like it's like, oh, it's easy. The design, and I have keyword research, and I put it through my content process, and that's it. But then I feel like we forget about all those other things that you just were mentioning, like that when you get to like level, I don't know, whatever, let's just break it into levels. You get to level 1, then, oh, there's these other things you'll want to do. And then when you reach this level, oh, there's these other things you'll want to build upon. And all those take time. And so when you multiply that by half a dozen or dozen sites, yeah, that becomes a lot of side work. You're like, man, how am I gonna get to these items? All right. Is there something that when you're on chatting with people, like I think I first saw you or heard you maybe on Niche Pursuits. Have you been on that podcast?
I have, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's where I heard of you, which is so cool because that's how people in the industry, they listen to certain podcasts or whatever, and then find people, connect with them or whatever. Is there something that you wish that people would ask you that they don't, that you'd want to talk more about?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that. Let me have a think.
Something that kind of burns on you and you're just like, dadgummit, I wish we would talk about this more.
People would focus on monetizing their traffic rather than just trying to get their traffic. I see all these fancy search console graphs and then like, oh, but how much do you make? And it's like a fraction of what my sites that are 3 times lower in traffic make. People just, traffic is a vanity metric, and it's only correlative. And I wish that people would not go, oh, I can get 1,000 page views from this. Yeah, because we make nothing. You've wasted your time. It's not a monetizable keyword. Ads are not a high monetizable form. Like even me talking about affiliate marketing as a focus is good, but it's not like as high as products and stuff. And so anything you can get that, like people are obsessed with getting 3 cents a page view. Go after, like, try and make $1 a page view. People just want to show that they've got 500,000 page views a month rather than making 500,000 a month by doing a lot less.
Interesting. Yeah. What do you think that is? Do you think it's, I guess, to get some stuff going or get the wheels turning? Maybe they're trying to rank for stuff that's easier to rank for, maybe. And so traffic starts there. I'm just spitballing with you, thinking out loud. They do that. And then I guess you can keep doing that, but maybe just not planning it all out, or not really thinking about the full 5 years down the road or whatever. What do you think it is? Like, why do you think people are doing that?
I think it's a mixture of not appreciating the value of your time enough to know that you should be surgically precise in how you like decide what you are and aren't going to do, which, by the way, I'm being a massive hypocrite for, because I don't do that nearly enough. But also not planning enough in advance, being like, oh, I'll write that today and this today. It's like, okay, you might get traffic, but you haven't put a coordinated strategy together, really thought through what the content will look like, where your best chance of selling stuff is, and how you best optimize that. And even thinking about, oh, this lead magnet would really suit this, so that you have a 6% conversion rate instead of a 0.2%, which leads you to exponentially bigger results down the line. And so it's just a deep thought and focus and planning could pay off like 100 times ROI on the average value of someone's time on their site if really thought through like a cohesive strategy to monetize it properly. Because if not, you just start with ads and it's like, all right, cool, now I just have to write 500 posts a month and I'll get to 100K a month in 4 years. It's like, well, that's impossible and it's expensive and it will decay over time and you'll end up just like struggling to swim against the tide when you get destroyed in the next helpful content update because none of your stuff is relevant anymore.
Oh, all a good point. All good points. For me, that's been one of the, I feel like that's definitely pretty high level thinking to be able to look at what you've got going on objectively and make really strategic decisions. Kind of like what you're talking about like increasing click-through rates for a certain article can bring like really look at your brands that way, to me, has been really tough. I wonder if it helps to have an outside eye help you look at those things, or have you done that? Have you had anyone from the outside help you look at your stuff objectively, or have you been able to look at what you're doing and make those decisions?
Yeah, I've taken really valuable consulting, like hour long or 2 hours. I've had Charles Float look at one of the sites. I've had Luke Jordan look at one of the sites, and it's been super helpful. Not necessarily on a conversion optimization thing, but more like an SEO thing. Like there's a couple. I didn't realize that like when we were doing like best buyers guides, for example, with 10 products, if we'd reviewed one of the products, I wanted to show the review clearly. So I put a bullet point at the end of that and then you can check out our full review. For example, they both picked up on that as bad SEO because it's a non-contextual internal link that isn't like related to the previous paragraph to then feed off the semantic relevance of that. So it's like you learn through stuff like that I didn't know. As for more general stuff, I'm not that emotionally involved in the sites. I don't love this. Like it's a means to an end. I'm transactional with it, so that allows me to be more like objective with my own stuff and less biased because I'm emotional about it. I care about the IF project. I'd struggle with that, but I don't really care about these sites in the same way. So I'm able to be more like brutally effective. But also I work with people such as the person who works with me, who is a site operator on a couple of the sites and has equity and stuff, who's able to then go, no, like you could be doing this more and this more, and that ability to be open has allowed us to be more effective and sort of be more like I was blind and now I can see with our like week.
That's good, man. Yeah, that's super important. Well, all right, I'm gonna let the folks that are watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna let them watch this next video. If you're listening, cool. Sorry you don't get that. And then I'm gonna recap. Jamie, stick around for a second, man. We'll debrief real quick. I enjoyed hanging out with you.
For sure, man. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.